Alright guys, today what I'm going to tell you about is finding common denominators when adding and subtracting fractions. That is the biggest rule, that you have to have a common denominator between two fractions. So if they are unlike, not the same, you have to find something, you have to make them the same. So let's first start with 3/5 plus 2/10. The first thing you notice is that these denominators are not like. So when we usually have like denominators, all of this is the same, and then it just transfers over here to where it would be the same as what the others are. We don't just add them up, we only add up the top, but we can't have 5, then what do we put on the bottom? So we have to figure out something that both of these can become. We could multiply them by each other, do 10 times 5 or do 5 times 10, or you know that 5 times 2 equals 10, so then I only have to change one of these fractions. So I can rewrite 3/5, and I want to make it tenths so that it matches this one. So to get from 5 to 10, I have to multiply it by 2. So that tells me that I have to do the same thing to the numerator, or else that fraction is not equivalent, and my answer will be incorrect. So now I can do 3 times 2, which is 6. So now I have an equivalent fraction to 3/5 that I can add to 2/10. So then I can bring that fraction over here, 6/10 plus 2/10. I add up the top. 6 plus 2 is 8. 10, 10, stays 10 on the bottom. Okay, so 8/10 is absolutely correct, but we always want to ask ourselves, can we simplify this? And the answer is yes. If both of them are even, we automatically know that we can divide both by 2. So I'm going to take 10 divided by 2, which is 5. If I did it there, I have to do it to the other one. 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So I get 4/5. Now, could I simplify further? No. If the numerator and denominator are one away from each other, it is completely simplified. So my answer is actually 4/5. Okay, let's try another one. So for instance, on this one, I could take the bigger number and I could start going through different multiples and see what they have in common, or I could just skip straight to it and multiply them by each other. I always say that to my kids because that is something you could always do. You just have to remember to simplify at the end. So I would do 8 times 9 and 9 times 8 because of the commutative property of addition or multiplication. So if I'm taking 3/8 I multiply it by 9 because that's the other denominator. Oops. 8 times 9 is 72. If I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. So I do 3 times 9, which is 27. Okay, so now I changed 3/8 into a new fraction. Now I want to change 2/9 into the same denominator. So 8 times 9 over here I would just do 9 times 8 to get 72. So 8 times 9 is 72, well 9 times 8 is 72. If you just flip it, you're multiplying the denominators by each other. So if I do it to the denominator, I have to do it to the numerator. 2 times 8, which is 16. So I kept it equivalent in both cases because I multiplied the bottom, same thing as the top. Same thing over here. Now I have 2 new fractions that I need to add up. Now I can add these because they have a common denominator. So the denominator stays the same, still 72. And the numerator now becomes 43. And I have to ask, can I simplify this anymore? I could go through, can I divide them both by 2? No, because it has to be what I can divide them both by in order to simplify them. By 3? No. 4? No. 5? No. And I would end up getting nowhere because 43 is prime. So my answer is 43 over 72. Alright, I'll do one more with you, which is 1/7 and 2/3. This is another case where I can just multiply them by each other. So I would take 1/7, multiply both the top and bottom by that other denominator. So that would be times 3. 7 times 3 is 21. 1 times 3, have to do it to the top, which would be 3. So I found my equivalent fraction to 1/7. It's going to have that same denominator of 21. Now I can take 2/3. I know I'm going to multiply it by 7 because the commutative property, 7 times 3 is 21, and 3 times 7 is 21. So I'd have to do it to the top up here, times 7 since I did it down here. 2 times 7 is 14. Now I can add 3 over 21, my new fractions that have same denominators. 3 plus 14, 17. My 21 stays the same all the way across. Now I think, can I simplify this answer? No, because 17 is prime once again, so my answer is 17 over 21. Alright, I hope this helps on finding common denominators, and good luck!